Good evening to you and welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Glenn Lall Show on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. We welcome you as we bring to you tonight's presentation where we tell it as it is. Just before we hand things over to the man of the moment, allow me to remind you that those telephone numbers that you can call us this evening on, they are 226-7453, 226-7454, 622-2222, or 624-6456. With that said, I hand you over to the man of the moment. Sir, namaste, and of course, good evening and namaste to all the members of our panel this evening. Over to you, sir.
Namaste to you, namaste to all the members of the panel, and namaste to all you wonderful people in Guyana and around the world. I love you guys, and I want you guys to know this evening that COVID hasn't gone anywhere. A serious thing be taken lightly. China, with almost a population of over 20 million people, was locked down for a month. They opened it, and this morning they announced all jackmen back into their quarters, because what they are seeing isn't a nice thing. CNN just announced that 40% of the deaths last week are from patients who had both the vaccines. Now they're asking people to start wearing masks and take the booster shots. This morning, my country, your country, our Ministry of Health is advising everyone to get the booster shot and wear your masks. At some schools, children test positive with the COVID. So you guys have to decide if you want your children to bring home COVID, or if you're going to keep them home until this thing straighten out. The only thing I could tell you people, especially the older folks, is to stay safe. Wear your mask, keep your distance, even when you're speaking to your own children and grandchildren, because I do with mine. Well, having said that, Josh, I can continue with my program. I see Bernard writing some stuff there. Bernard?
Yeah, good night.
You ready? You ready for the program tonight?
Yeah.
What about you, Miss Harris?
I got it up top. Is it
Yeah?
low?
Danny, you ready too?
I'm here.
Man, we have a full house in the studio tonight. Namaste again.
Namaste.
I'm tired hearing from time to time messages, telephone calls, people telling me to be careful. Stop the program. They're going to hurt you. Tell your boss they're going to hurt him and stuff like that. Joshua, do you hear things like that?
Yes.
You know, let me say this. I am not naive to the fact that harm can come my way. But like I always say, if you have fear in you, you will not go on a ride. You will not go on a slide to injure yourself. You will not rob someone or thief something from anybody if you have fear in you. If you are fearful, you will not say certain things to people in their face or even behind their backs. Isn't that true, man?
Yep.
Yeah. Because of the repercussion that will follow. In my case, uncle and auntie, I am not the bravest soul on earth. I am just like people like you. Just like you. The same blood that boils in you boils in me. The same heart you got, me got it too. It's just that I am not fearful of what I do so far. Maybe If or when that time comes, who knows? I know for sure, uncle and auntie, I know for sure I was tied up and tortured for hours. They killed my employees, they threw a grenade at my vehicle. Gunmen came in Kaieteur News looking for Lall, and I am not fearful. Still here doing what that man above sent me here to do. So, to all you people who have doubts about my safety, telling me to be careful, don't worry your head. The man above got my back,
Yep.
plus the front, and all the sides you can think of.
Every corner.
And I'm pretty much sure I said, Namaste, Bernard, did I? Namaste again, man. You know, it's a year and a half now I have been talking every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday as to what is going on in this country with our wealth, our resources, our pockets. I have chosen to speak on this particular topic, Uncle, because there is nothing more important in this country like our bread and butter. Because it means so much to our present and future. Hence, I stick with this topic of paisa, dinero, money, Danny.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. That's what I stick with. During those programs, I would have asked the leaders of this land thousands of questions, and to date, I have not heard a single answer to anything I have spoken about. Not even a lawsuit, which of course I don't want. Miss Harris, I don't want a
Not
lawsuit.
enough. Not enough.
Tonight, I will be asking questions, and the phone lines will be open for us to have a debate, for us to have a discussion as to what is really going on in this land. This is an open and honest discussion of what you really think and feel about this oil wealth we have. In an open and honest conversation. Guys, tonight is the only way how we can understand. I'm going to give you that leverage, that space to talk with me and let us understand what's happening. And on my side, I can get to hear from you what is happening, what's going on in your mind with our wealth and our leaders. Before I get to that, let me tell you where I don't want Guyana to be. 20 years from now, it is where Sri Lanka is today. Sri Lanka, with a population of over 22 million presently, is on a countrywide protest to remove the president, a man named Rajapaksa. He has bankrupted the country with the terrible deals he did with foreign nations, especially China, all to benefit he, his family, and his friends, including his brother, nephews, and nieces. His brother, who was the prime minister, was forced to resign on Monday as protesters stormed his office. You hear that?
Yep.
Yeah. The entire cabinet, but the president, still hanging on to the presidency. The entire cabinet resigned. Only the president hanging on there. He instructed the armed forces of Sri Lanka to shoot the protesters.
Wow.
Just clinging on to power.
Sad.
Uncle, this family has been running Sri Lanka for decades now and has finally put the country into bankruptcy. I was shocked. I was shocked listening to the news last night when I heard 70% of the country's yearly budget is going into the pockets of the president's entire family and circle of friends. Man, you didn't hear what I said there, man.
I heard it loud and clear.
They reported that 70% of the country's budget every year goes in one circle alone.
It's the same in Equatorial Guinea, Nigeria, Chad,
Yes.
Sudan, and soon to be same in Guyana also.
Simply put, uncle, they are the players in everything that happens in Sri Lanka. Every project, every business belongs to the circle and only the circle alone. So if you have a road to build, it's them. A school to build is them. A hospital, a health center to renovate is them.
6 hospitals too.
They're living like kings and queens, while the entire population living like street dogs. Looking at the news last night, I saw long lines for gasoline, for food, drinking water, and there is no money whatsoever. All this happened because of corruption and mismanagement on a massive scale that has the country at a standstill. And that criminal for president named Rajapaksa still doesn't want to let go. As I looked at Sri Lanka, uncle and auntie, what it has become, I am already seeing the future of Guyana from now. And I will give you an example. You didn't hear what I said, Bernard. What I saw in Sri Lanka
It's a preview of Guyana.
is a preview of what is to come in this country.
Definitely, 100%.
Let me share an example. Look at where and in whose hands 3/4 of Guyana's budget is going into on these massive deals and projects. Look at whose businesses are benefiting, and you tell me where Guyana will end up. Look at some of them, uncle and auntie. One was a haircut, a barber, in a little barber shop at the roadside. Yes. Just the other day, in the twinkle of an eye, you're already living like a king as a contractor in this country. Look around and you will see some of them used to ride bicycles and motorcycles. Overnight they're driving Mercedes Benz. And all of you guys out there know what I'm talking about. This is nothing new I'm talking about. You have them in all your villages and your communities. So this is not something I'm guessing. Everybody knows what is happening. It's just that I am fearful that this country do not become like Sri Lanka and so many other countries.
Much worse.
These are the types of questions we should be asking. These are the types of conversations we must have openly if we are to look to develop this country, uncle. And at the same time, let the citizens, all of us, inherit the nation's wealth. No family, no friends, no leaders should be allowed to amass all the wealth and the population struggling to put food on their tables, man. Nobody should allow that. And that is where Sri Lanka and many other countries are today. You guys have to stop sleeping, because that is exactly what will happen to Guyana. That's where we will end up. 2 days ago, I saw huge fighting going on in the Democratic Republic of Congo. They reported 50 dead. You know what they were fighting for, Miss Harris?
Food, water.
Huh? No. Their gold fields they were fighting for.
That's it.
Yes. We have rich gold fields. The foreigners fetching out we gold by the tons, throwing pennies at us in royalties and taxes. In one contract, I saw a Guyanese that owned a gold field, and he was paying more royalties and taxes per ounce than the foreigners.
Wow.
And we still silent. Your leaders still quiet. The phone lines open 226-7453, 226-7454, 624-6456, or 622-222. Let's have this frank discussions, man. And these conversations we should have in the open.
Definitely.
And these questions that we should boldly and bluntly shove in our leaders' face when I see them, man.
Every single day.
You tell me, man. I do it every single day in the newspapers and on this radio station. When I am going to really hear you guys standing up to these pretenders, these schemers and connivers that we have masquerading up around the place as leaders. Yeah, guys? Sri Lanka didn't run into bankruptcy overnight, uncle and auntie. No. 20 long years they took to get where they are. And the international economists are saying today that it will take another 20 years for them to catch back themselves. Yes. That's the horror story I am warning you guys about of what I am seeing in this country, man. Last night, I am told Ashni Singh announced the forced withdrawal of $200 American from the 700 million oil money we get, and told the nation it is to finance national development priorities.
Whose priorities?
You hear what the man said, uncle? The money is to finance national development priorities. Is what I mean, man.
Exactly.
Whose priorities?
Huh? National development priorities is more schools, more roads, more international bridges being built in the interior, more health centers to their friends, families, and cronies. You know what? At some unbelievable contract prices, and that 200 million American dollars will vanish overnight into thin air. Uncle, let me repeat. That 200 million is 47% public servant salary increase. Not one, 40. Which is $5 million for every 7%. They can't take $5 million to pay them poor nurses, them police, them soldiers, them public servants. Them same nurses were pushing around y'all parents in wheelchairs and stretchers when they go to the hospitals. No. Them same nurses were cleaning the mess when your loved ones can't go to the toilet. Yes. $5 million only. This government, President Ali, cannot use to give people a 7% increase. But 200 million can just whap out in the name of national development priorities. Keep your eyes, keep your ears, keep your nose open, and watch, see, and smell how the money will vanish.
200 million just like a scholarship.
The people of this country have to get serious. As serious questions have to be put to these leaders about what they're really doing to this country and its people, man. You agree with me, Harris?
100%.
Huh? They have already placed us in almost $3 billion US debt. Sri Lanka began there and ended up with 52 billion American dollar debt, which they cannot ever repay. That led to the Chinese, yes, led to bankruptcy and led to the Chinese owning a 1.4 billion port with a huge chunk of Sri Lanka land, which means you can't pay the people and they're going to take what they can put on and they will take your land. And it becomes, Sri Lanka now becomes part of China.
Yeah, exactly. A Chinese colony.
Ashley Singh, Vice President Jagdeo, and President Ali, with our new opposition leader, Aubrey Norton, should tell us how they plan paying that $3 billion debt and how much more billions they secretly cooking up to add to that $3 billion. That's a basic, simple and straightforward question, Uncle. These are questions you guys have to ask. We already got $3 billion. How much more they going to take and tie down Guyana too? They took $27 million from IDB just last week and said part of it they go buy flash drives, computer flash drives. Oh my God. Yeah? This gives you more than a hot neck, my child.
Stress, the pressure is rising.
This gives you stress. This is why the doctor tell me, Glenn, stay away from this program. Flash drive. You go to borrow.
27 US dollars flash drive.
Come on, man. And you spending 200 million on what? National development priorities.
Like a scale on sugar factory.
Maybe yes. No, part of the money got spent on the ongoing airport saga.
Never done airport.
Yes.
What about the
Open the phone lines there, boy. Take the phone calls. As my phone is open, okay? I will stop to take these calls anytime. 226-7453, 226-7454, or WhatsApp 624-6456. I am waiting.
Let the defenders come and defend.
Yeah, man.
Let the defenders come and defend it.
Tell all of them to use their people to defend these things that I'm saying. And while I'm waiting for the phone calls or the phone to ring, let me tell you this. Brazil, our neighbor, was the only country on earth with the lowest take home from its oil, 56%. Let me repeat it, man. Brazil, we neighbor, is the lowest country on earth that takes home 56% from their oil. Till Guyana find oil and shoot Brazil off the map with 12.5%. You hear me? 12.5%.
Disgraceful.
Not even 52%. Not even 42.5%. Not even 32.5%. Not even 22.5%. But 12.5%. Like I said, I really sometimes want to cry. I want to scream on this radio. I want to holler for y'all in this country. And nothing is being done to rectify, correct, or change this. Instead, these world-class financial experts, Jagdeo and Ashley Singh, telling us about sanctity of contract. What about the sanctity of the promises, the commitments these same leaders make to you, the Guyanese people, may I ask?
Exactly.
They are the ones who said they will renegotiate this lopsided contract.
Say that again.
Where is the sanctity between them and the people of this country?
Where is the loyalty?
Huh?
Yes, man. All time.
Bernard?
Say that again. Where's the
Just a little tickle for your ears. What happened to the phone? Is that ringing? Take it. Don't leave it. Joshua, take the phone calls. Just a little tickle. Suriname is taking home 62.25%. And Guyana not even getting a quarter of what Suriname getting.
We are getting a quarter of Brazil is getting.
To be exact, is 1/5 and not a quarter. Yes. When I see things like this, it enrages my soul. It sickens me. It disgusts me. It also gives me the strength, though, and the spirit
Definitely.
to come back again and again to have these programs and conversations with y'all. We are not in a good position. And I want you people to stop clapping. Stop throwing mahal around their necks. And worshipping these leaders. Take the call.
Caller, good evening and welcome. Hello? Caller, you there?
Like I am saying, Uncle, stop malaying these people. Stop worshipping these leaders. They're deliberately doing things to stifle and destroy you and your family along with your country. I want you people to feel like me and see this thing like me. So when you meet these leaders, you're going to ask them boldly why we can't get what Suriname getting. Why we can't even get what Brazil getting, 56%. Huh? You guys are smart enough. I don't have to tell you what else to say to them, man. Take the calls.
Caller, good evening and welcome.
Hello?
Good night.
Am I to the show?
Yes, you are.
Turn your radio
Not
down.
turn your radio down, sir. Turn your radio down. Caller, good evening and welcome. Good night.
Raise it for me.
Can you talk up, please? Speak up, please, rather. Hello?
Go.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, the government saying it want workers in this country.
I'm not here.
Look,
Government saying they want workers in the country.
Go ahead, sir.
yeah.
Speak up.
The government said it want import people in this country and then giving part-time job to people. All right, though.
I think he's saying that the government is saying they want to import workers into the country, and there's people here who already don't have jobs.
Yeah.
That's the gist of what he's saying. The yeah.
I hear him. I hear him. I hear him.
You want to make a comment?
There are many jobs that the Guyanese people cannot do, and we will have to bring in people. Okay, we'll have to import them. But what our government should have already been doing is bringing people to train Guyanese to take on the jobs. ExxonMobil, that is part of their social responsibility.
Yes, the
Corporate social responsibility. That's part of their duty, to ensure that people understand what's going on so that the Guyanese people can take over. But if they're not doing that, then we have to import people. There's no if or no but about that.
They're giving $300 million a year to pay for training of Guyanese land.
300,000.
US dollars a year to pay for training of Guyanese. Where's that money going and where is it?
1 second. This is the kind of conversation I like to have, so people understand. Oil companies, part of their responsibility is to give your country money
To train the citizens.
to train. They would have, ExxonMobil and Hess and Sinnock and all these people would have given countries millions of US dollars on a yearly basis. Okay? So that the country can take that money and train their people, their citizens, to take up the jobs, the money paying jobs,
right in Trinidad.
so that the country can benefit. Instead, they see Guyana as as a set of goats and clowns.
Fools to take advantage of.
They take advantage and just throw 1 second and just hold the call and just throw $300,000 a year to us.
Ghana get over $1 million from the
Exactly. So you guys need to understand that. Go ahead. Let's get the
Caller,
call.
good evening and welcome.
Yeah, good evening. I'm up to the general show.
Yes, you are.
I have a question, Mr. Glenn.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to know why is only Vice President Jagdeo only going to Bobby's alone? You listen from to all the other regions like Muslim, Tongi, offices, going to Bobby's study to tell these people something. We can't tell Jasmine certain things, then the people certain things, there's people we come and other places. Why are you going to Bobby's alone? It is Bobby's thing alone, going to place alone. I'm telling these things up there. Why you tell people right from Tongue, these offices?
I hear you. I hear you. Any other questions?
Any other questions, sir?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I heard the gentleman. He wants to know why our vice president is only going to Berbice and meeting those people. That's a tough question for me to ask, for me to answer. But I can comment. I can give my views on it. I believe that he can only go there to speak to his supporters, to continue to mislead and fool them, because at the end of the day, they're his voters. He would not be able, or he would not be accepted in other communities, going to tell those people those crap he telling them. At one of the Bottom House meeting, he told the people about Guyana's GDP. Oh gosh, I wanted to talk about his GDP. You know, it's so sickening. You're telling people about GDP who doesn't understand what's going on. He should come on the radio and talk about Guyana's GDP with Glenn Lall. He or Ashni Singh should come here and talk to us on that. So my friend, I don't think he will go anywhere else but to their constituencies. And it goes both ways, both sides too, you know. The opposition, the coalition government, they go in their stronghold too. And they go and they do this just to keep their supporters in line, not to sway them. But let's move on. Right? Let's move away a little from that 12.5% Guyana sign-on, and let's concentrate on what we're really getting for we 12.5%. And I begin with the first question. How many barrels of oil ExxonMobil pumping every day? Why aren't we being told that? Why must the citizens not know that, uncle?
Extrapolate, imagine it.
Why is the vice president hiding this from us? And our opposition leader is not saying nothing about that too. May I ask? Huh? If you don't know that, how are you going to know you're 12.5%?
You have to imagine what he said.
How are we going to begin to understand the starting point for our 12.5%? Can somebody help me with that?
We have to infer it.
You have to
Ah,
imagine
yes.
it,
This
infer,
is
imagine
another
it.
thing we have
Yes.
to infer.
According to Jagdeo, we have to infer
Imagine
The
it.
numbers.
that information.
Imagine it.
Infer means, uncle, imagine it. When you sleep, or just dream it.
Take a little guess.
Make a guess.
Pluck a figure from
Yes,
the
pluck a
sky.
figure from the air, and whatever figure you get, work with that.
Yeah.
That's how you will determine
Sick.
your 12.5%. Your father doesn't know how much mango coming out the mango field every day. So how are you going to know what is there for he and his family? Eh? Isn't this a question? Isn't this a question all we should know, man? Or an answer we should all have?
Yep.
After all, is we oil production we are talking about? How much oil coming up every day? The phone's ringing?
Yes,
No?
calling.
Take it.
Caller, good evening and welcome. Hello.
Hello.
Good night.
Go ahead.
Hello.
Speak
Am
up,
I
please.
on to the Glenn show?
Yes,
Speak
you
up.
are.
Let's get going.
All right.
No. Take that off. Take it off. Let's go. Guys, when you call in, let's get going. Time is of the essence. Time is everything in this world today. The longer you take to wake up, trust me, you may not have air to breathe in your home. So let's not waste time with the phone. You call the phone and let's get going with your answers, or your comments, your questions, and let's get going. Let me move to my second question. What is the cost to bring up a barrel of oil? Can somebody help me with that cost? Why must the citizens not know that too? Why Jagdeo is hiding this? Huh? Why are we left in the dark again, may I ask? The third question. What is the selling price for VIL body? That information also is not available to the citizens of this country who own every drop of this oil out there, Bernard. Huh? Again, I ask, why is the vice president and our opposition leader not sharing these basic yet critical, important information with us?
The oil belongs to them, the politicians, not the people. That's what they think.
Again, for the third time, why is he hiding this information from us? The amount of oil, the cost of the oil, and the selling price of the oil. Why the phone is not ringing, may I ask? The phone ringing? 624-6456. You don't have to pay. Call it WhatsApp. 622-222. Call WhatsApp. Why the phone's not ringing, man? Huh? How can anyone determine your 12.5%? Or if they're getting the promised 12.5%? May I ask? Huh? The three basic things in any business. Whether you're selling greens, provision, candy. Whether you sell fish or soda, man. How much you start with, how much it costs you, and how much you're selling it for.
You have a call on the line.
Huh?
Caller, good evening and welcome.
Namaste,
Namaste.
Let's get going. Namaste.
Mr. Glenn, Mr. Lall. That the coalition used to hold classes at the Center for Local Business upstairs of iPad.
I hear you.
For to teach us accounting. I was one of them that took the classes, believing that we would, when we had to audit the books, the ExxonMobil books, they would have called us. This government never did. And we did the classes, we paid some of the expenses to the exam, because we had to pay for that. But the classes were free. And they never called us to do the books for ExxonMobil. Instead, Jagdeo chose to say that we weren't qualified or something like that. In some terms he used, I can't remember.
He said we don't have qualified people. He hasn't found qualified people to audit.
Right. But we had several Guyanese used to attend the classes there. And we got our certificates. We all had our certificates. We never were called. And that gave a lot of the young Guyanese people, they were just left in limbo because some of them didn't have jobs. And they were disappointed, in other words. Now, there is an old saying that came out of Texas. The white man says the people who dance to the beat of a drum can be easily conquered. And we saw it in American Indians. They're right now on the reservations. We saw it in other countries in Africa. I remember seeing in Africa what they did to them. And now looking at Guyana, looking in the same direction. Now, I used to think it was racist, but it's not racist. They make sense what they're saying. Now, the other thing is, these programs that the Center for Local Business has, they are paid for from ExxonMobil, because some of the ExxonMobil people used to come in classes and greet us and stuff, things like that. So those are some of the things. I think they're still doing the program, but I think it might be less than before, because we used to do procurement that was supposed to continue with the procurement class, but I don't know what happened to it. They never called me back, so I don't know what's going on with the procurement classes. But I had already done procurement in Atlanta years ago. A government program was paid for.
I am happy. I am happy that you were one of them that took the classes, the training, to be part of working to audit these expenses and the books of ExxonMobil. Can we stay in touch? Take my number, keep that number, and let's stay in touch.
I came to see you.
Let's stay in touch. Let's stay in touch.
I came to see you.
Let's stay in touch. Have a good night. Let's stay in touch. Let's have a good night.
Sure. Okay.
Call me.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. I didn't know if that gentleman didn't call that the coalition government had classes going on to train Guyanese to be part of the books, right? That's applaudable. Under the coalition government too, let me make this very clear. They used to give us a monthly production report. All right? As soon as Jagdeo took over, all these things gone dead. Come on, man. Come on, Vice President. You can't do the people of this country this thing. The people of this country ought to know how much oil coming up. They ought to know what the cost of this oil, and they ought to know the selling price of this oil. That's the only way we can know if we are being shafted and how much we are being shafted. Why you're keeping these information away from the people of this country? Why aren't you hiring people to authorize the expenses of ExxonMobil and all these oil players out there? Why aren't you hiring people to check these books? Guys, this is worse. What the Vice President is doing in this country with his oil sector is worse than what the President of Sri Lanka has done to their people there. It is worse also than what many African and Asian country leaders did with their oil industry. So I'm happy that I can bring this information to your ears and you understand. Like I said Monday, I am just Glenn Lall, and I can only warn you people. I can only give you this information for you to take, and you gotta act on it.
Yes.
This whole country should have been on the streets shouting, protesting, demanding that Bharat Jagdeo, the man heading the oil sector, come clean or demit office. Vacate, get out. Yeah.
You want to hear something?
Not one business venture, uncle. Not one project, auntie. Vice President Jagdeo put hand on when he was president has prospered or succeeded in this land. And again, I'm going to challenge you guys. Contradict me on that. Name me one thing that Jagdeo spent 10, 12 years as president that succeed in this country. My fourth question, ExxonMobil, 600 oil blocks, when the laws of the Guyana only authorizes no more than 60. Why this is not being corrected by the Honorable Vice President Jagdeo? Yes, it was signed away with Raphael Trotman. But why it's not being corrected now? Why the opposition leader is not saying a word about correcting this too? Huh? Just in case you don't know, when you get back that 560 oil block from ExxonMobil, uncle and auntie, it can pay out all we $3 billion debt and triple everybody's salary. Yes. Why is the Vice President silent on this? Huh? If we only get it, Bernard, we can throw it in the open market. We can put it on auction.
Hundreds of billions.
We can have people bids. And trust me, all the debts can pay it off.
Yep.
Right? We don't have to beg for $5 million. Abuse them on this radio.
27 million.
For give people, no man, you can triple, you can 10 times people's salary in this country.
Of course.
And the next
Huh?
is the relinquishment as well.
Exactly, and that's what I'm going to talk about. Why is the Vice President silent on this? Relinquishment, uncle and auntie, is another aspect in which every 4 years, all of them out there that have we oil blocks have to give up a portion, 20%. Have to give up a portion of the oil blocks if they haven't touched it. So we can sell it. Yes, we can sell that too and make billions of US dollars. Time have run out on many of these oil blocks, and we are not hearing a word, not from the opposition leader, nor the Vice President that's running the oil sector, in which they have to go and take it back. You just got to write them a letter and say, hey, come give me back that piece of oil block.
It's in the contract.
My fifth question, uncle. My fifth question. And the last question for tonight has to do with taxes. Everybody pay taxes, man. Down to the man who clean the gutter and sweep the streets pay taxes. Everybody that cut timber. Every gold digger, diamond seeker, rice farmer, cane cutter pays taxes, man. Only ExxonMobil is exempted from paying taxes in this country. Why this is not being corrected by the Honorable Vice President Jagdeo? Ms. Harris? Why Glenn Lall has to take it upon himself with the help of 2 other friends and some lawyers to go to court seeking justice for this country?
Yeah.
Why me and other citizens have to do that, Mr. Jagdeo? Huh? Why we have to do your work? You guys know there's a provision that allows for renegotiation in the contract. So that Guyana and the people can get a better deal. If only the leaders, uncle, open their mouth, it can happen. But it's not. It's not. And uncle, auntie, let me end. There are several other provisions in the contract that can be changed. There are many other loopholes that can be corrected in which Guyana can rake in real money for the poor people of this country, and they all know it. I want to share an example of what Jagdeo did when he issued that last license the fourth Project Yellowtail the other day. The Kaieteur News has been exposing the many loopholes over the years that sits in this contract. One of them is the accurate measurement of the oil and the quality also. We had explained that if the government don't put mechanism in place to correct that, ExxonMobil can fiddle and fuddle with the equipment, thief the oil, and we can say or do nothing about it. We observed that Jagdeo when he issued the fourth project, he corrected that. That story is in the Kaieteur News today. And I said, let me bring it to your ears. He corrected that. Uncle, it's a start. A plus. Not a big plus though. But it is the beginning of something to get something. You understand what I'm saying, Ms. Harris? Yes. Man, Danny, every oil contract has loopholes in which more often than not is the country that gets shafted, not the oil company. Because them is the smart ones. With we oil contract that we have with ExxonMobil, we ain't get shafted. We get something worse than that. And it must be corrected. What our leaders should have done in the first place, Ms. Harris, was to hire independent and trustworthy oil experts to guide them before they signed the contract. But they didn't, Uncle. They went ahead and signed that death sentence for all of us. Raphael Trotman signed that. In which we're fighting for our lives right now. And can be corrected. But is the but. Many countries, Ms. Harris, sign on to contracts with bad provisions, were able to gradually correct their mistakes to save their people, enrich their country. Guyana should have already been on that road, and plenty money should have already been coming into, yes, our pockets to pay off with debts, make us happy, put food in them children's lunch kit without even renegotiating the contract. This one loophole that they plug, Uncle, that Jagdeo plug in this fourth project the other day, is a tiny loophole. It is like a little breakage or a crack in the dam where water is pouring in the rice field. But a real big problem is the coca that breaks away. That will destroy the entire field with the rice crops inside. Which your leaders are not looking at presently. Uncle, fixing that loophole, that tiny loophole that Jagdeo fixed there, it proves that this government is beginning to understand the power they have in their hands to correct the grave wrongs done against us with that contract. You agree with me? Yeah. I am praying and waiting patiently to see when Vice President Jagdeo will secure full cover insurance and ring fencing. Just them two. Full cover insurance and ring fencing is two coca that protects every one of our oil field. Let me repeat that. Full cover insurance and ring fencing is two cocers that protects every oil fields. Full cover insurance protects Guyana and the region. Ring fencing provision safeguard and protect we pocket and we future. Today, ExxonMobil held a consultation at Humanayana on the gas to energy at Wales project. They pull the same scheme. They play the same game they played on me when I was the only one attended the Payara consultation project. They tell the reporters that only one question they're allowed to ask. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
You're having a consultation.
You know? Yes, a consultation you have with the general public, and you telling the people that they have limited questions to ask.
Exactly.
That's a disrespect
You know?
for Guyanese people.
And one of my reporter, Davina, did ask them about insurance. You know what I said? The usual trick, the usual gimmick. Oh, we will not run away. We will take care, we will clean up and take care of everything. But where is the insurance signed policy
Exactly.
to back those words?
Precisely.
Where is it? Huh? This is what they have been saying all the time.
I promise you, come
Right?
food.
Then when you ask about the cost for the pipeline, they said they may come with equip to give us the cost. You come to consult with the people of this country on a project that you doing for this country,
We got that straight.
and you telling the people that you not come equipped for answer question as to the cost you throw in on this country for a
The
project.
biggest project in the country's history, Glenn.
Huh?
Not any contract.
Huh?
Any contract, the biggest contract in the country's history.
Are you really understand what is happening in this land with these gangsters we have? Huh? ExxonMobil and all of them?
International gangsters.
Huh? You know, the two cokers that I talk about, full cover insurance and ring fencing, uncle. I hope that Jagdeo close them doors tomorrow morning. I hope they close them doors tomorrow morning. And I also hope that he closed the door on that gas to energy project tonight, because we are heading for extreme danger, 1,000,000 times worse than Sri Lanka and those African and Asian countries like Nigeria, Ghana, Papua New Guinea, Uganda, and so on. With that, I say nothing else for tonight. I am going to sit here and take your phone calls.
226.
God bless you guys.
226-7454, 226-7454. We have a caller?
We have a question here.
Okay.
Someone says, good night, Mr. Lall. Can you please explain percentage? Some people are confused after hearing about 2%, then 12.5%. Can you please explain what are these percentage, and can parallel these figures with Suriname? Thanks.
All right. That's a lovely question. The 12.5% we set to get that's the profit sharing. Okay? When the expenses are taken out, we split the profit. So Exxon get 12.5 and we get 12.5. That's leaving out the 2% royalty. I don't like to even talk about these things, man. It's sick your soul. And what you need to know, what that individual needs to know, the expenses they're taking out, if they're to take out all, every cent, Guyana got nothing to get.
Yeah.
Not a blind cent. ExxonMobil is only allowed to take out up to 75% cost oil.
You got it only?
Yes. Only.
That's not only, sir. 75% not only.
No. If that, like I'm saying, they take out all, you have nothing to get. So they deliberately set that 75% height so that they could snatch all your money away. right? And throw the little change at you. Like I said, if they take out all Bernard, the country will be in debt.
Then nowhere else in the world is any oil company allowed to take 75% as nowhere else in the world. You check all the other contracts, nowhere they're allowed to take out 75%. That's an insult to the Guyanese people.
It could have been 100.
Well, this is the agreement we sign on to, brother. This is why we take home only 12.5%. If you add the 2% royalty to it, you take home 14.5%.
We still a quarter of what Brazil is getting, the lowest in the world. So let me do my thing.
Yes, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I always wondered what kind of people were the leaders in Africa who solo their people. Have they any trace of humanity in them? Do they have any human feelings? Do they have a heart? Do they have empathy for the suffering of their citizens? Right? I got my answer tonight. I just finished reading the book Marble, Grass and Glass by Dr. Shamoti Lall, in which he describes ancestors' journey from India to Guyana. I guess it's the same thing in Africa, just a different. In Africa, there were people who enslaved their fellow citizens and sold them to the white man for be slaves. In India, they call them the Arcatis. And they're the one who kidnaps the unfortunate people in India and put them on the ship for indentured service in Guyana. But there's one where a young woman with a 9-year-old girl child and a 7-year-old who got caught up in a storm in a park, and they got lost from the man with the ship, with the cart. And there's a man came by, one of the Arcatis came by, and he picked them up, right? They were shivering, they were wet, shivering, and covered in mud after being in a thunderstorm through the night. And instead of seeing a human being who could help, all he sees dollar signs. And he took them and he sold them to the ship and bunked for Guyana. That's how they ended up in Guyana. So our leaders are just like that, just like the leaders in Africa who sell out their people. They're like Arcati who beats, rapes, and robs their fellow citizens, and when they finish, they sell them out into slavery. Right? That's what our leaders are doing to us.
It's worse now.
Of course, but I am sickened at the disrespect with people. Don't we have any respect for ancestors? Our ancestors like Kofi, like Damon, like Kausila, Lalabaji, Puran, Suraj Bali, Rambaran, Walter Rodney, people who fought against the oppressors, fought against slavery, right? We dishonor their memories, we dishonor their sacrifices by not fighting for our rights, not fighting our fair share of our resources. Gold, oil, bauxite, diamonds, timber, manganese, everything we have there. Why aren't we fighting for our rights? It belongs to us. Our ancestors risked their lives. With their lives, they built the slave struggle and built this country. The indentured servants fought and they built this country where it is now. Right? These people risk their lives to fight for their basic human rights and dignity. Here we have a chance for the best life on the planet for us and our children. And we allow our leaders to sell us out, to give it away to the same people like who enslaved, who tortured, who raped our ancestors. These were making millions and billions of dollars of our wealth and leave us living like dogs, scrambling for the crumbs that fall from the table. We deserve so much better. We deserve a piece of the cake. We deserve a fair share of our wealth. Come on, people, you have to stand up and fight for our rights. We are Guyanese citizens. We are born here. This is our God-given right. We, as Guyanese citizens, we own that wealth. It belongs to us, we the Guyanese people. Stop allowing your leaders to take advantage of you, man. Stand up for your rights. Stand up for your children who cannot stand up for themselves.
I hear you. I hear you. Thank you.
Bernard, well said.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that presentation. Good evening. Good evening. You're live on the air.
Hey, good night, Mr. Glenn.
Yes, you're live.
Yeah, I heard you were saying that the VP rectified the instrument of the aisle, and you said that is good.
Well,
but I don't think that is good because right now we the Guyanese ain't getting no information about the whatever transaction is going on, how much oil for a day. You know, I think he is not qualified to run that oil business. But however, I have a prediction. In 2025 come, then I think we Guyanese would hear about an insurance, and we will hear about
a little money here and then, but here and there. But I think that for you, you have to be very careful because they will try to get at you as when a man drowning, even if he gets a hold on a strap to save his life. And they would use any means to get you. So right now you have to let your handyman alert him, your maid, even your staff. I think they would go all out just to get you.
I hear you. Hold one second. You talk about, we talk about that one tiny loophole that he fixed.
Yeah.
We had to see that in the license which he approved, right? What we are not seeing, the most important document we are not seeing, is the review report on Payara and the Yellowtail that led to this license he issued. What we need to see, what Guyana should and must see, is the review report. You understand, of both Payara and the Yellowtail project. That's what every dog in this country should see, because that would have recommendations, right? And that will point out all the wrongs that has to be corrected before a license is granted. And this is why Jagdeo don't want us to see these reports.
Well, I think he would only give us what he wants to give us, not what we are required to see. He would give us what he would give us. It wouldn't mean anything important for us. The more important thing, he would get us behind the scene. Thank you. But he is not qualified for me.
No.
I think some other person should go.
He's qualified by playing games, man. I can tell you, these guys understand what's going on, you know. If he could have seen that he needs to correct the measurement, that instrument that measures the oil and measures the quality of the oil, then how come you don't see that you got to tell this country how much oil coming up every day, man?
Exactly.
Yeah?
Well, I think if he wants to look clean in the eyes of Guyanese people, I think he should say, well, here, my time is up.
No.
Give somebody else a chance.
No, he will not go. He will not move from there.
Yeah?
He will not
That's
move from
what
there.
he need to do.
Unless, unless the young president tell him to pack up and go.
He's power hungry.
He has to
No, man.
Well,
But-
I doubt that will happen. But
Thank
the
you.
next thing, we've been hearing from Raphael Trotman. We've been hearing you need to come out. Anyhow, thank you. I want to give somebody else.
Welcome,
a chance.
welcome,
Yeah,
welcome.
good.
Raphael
And on the question of be careful, every day, my friend, every day we live this life, we be careful with whatever we do and whatever we say. But we don't know what tomorrow holds.
Exactly, live your life.
So let's live your life, man. Don't worry with what they can do and what they can do. You understand? If the man above don't want nothing to happen to you, trust me, 50 like them can't even touch me.
Exactly.
Once you understand that deep within your soul, you walk this earth with no fear.
Glenn, the greatest fear is fear itself.
Exactly. Exactly.
So Alison is agreeing with what you were saying before about the disclosing of the reports. She says if he discloses that information, that will only confirm what you've been saying all along. He knows the damage that will do, so
Exactly.
he'd prefer to stay away from that and continue to peddle the lies. Oh no, sorry, continue to peddle the opposition did this and that and that and that.
Which Allison
Cortez.
Oh, because Alison Redford.
No.
I thought that came from Alison Redford, because Alison Redford is a Canadian woman who did the Payara project and who was part of the other project. I would love to get her to ask her what she recommended. What was some of her proposals in the review
She's
of both projects.
She's a superwoman, Glenn. She did feel wait 42 days.
Take the call.
Caller, good evening and welcome to the Glenn Lall Show. Yes, you are. You have to turn your device you're listening to us off or down before you can continue.
I want to say something to Mr. Goyal. Mr. Lall, you got to remember, Jagdeo on a mission to keep this country one level at a time, you know. You know, mission to keep this country one level at a time, it's here. You got Miss House in the studio today. You got Bernard there with you. These things will be to main people that say, no, your program will be right. Number one, first. This government don't deal with true living God. They don't know what God is. They deal with the devil. Not people that love people, God in the heart with these things to these people. And the same thing, Mr. Bernard will be saying to the Guyanese people, how they are foolish and these things. Everybody might want to use them well, but at the same time, look at the situation going in the country. People just relax and do this thing anyhow and play less like a lady. Because people got time to tell people the island, they don't know how here, but they got time around these things. How we're going on with this government doing, especially the president doing, is Guyanese people out in the wrong side because they tomorrow the election come back again, you will come back again and do the same thing to the president back to the again. So it's absolutely ridiculous all the time. So with Ms. Bernard and Ms. Harris to contend the program some nights is be recruiting these people that start these two main people on this program this thing. They say the right thing all the time will start again. You want to speak Bible again. Many people are not done people, but how they behave is operated certainly. They got to give the power, the government the power to behave certain way towards them and treat them in a certain way. Thank you.
Welcome.
That's
Welcome.
wonderful.
Thank you, spoke like about 500
Yeah.
words
Yes.
in that
Where are the comments, man? Where are the comments?
What he said.
Where are the comments on all the YouTube and Facebook?
Intentional plan to keep Guyana and Guyanese in this position. So,
They keep you like that.
Yeah, that's the plan.
That's what both governments did.
I've been thinking about it from an academic standpoint, right? I would coin the phrase intentional structural underdevelopment. They literally plan how they're going to keep a nation underdeveloped while they siphon off the funds to enrich themselves and their friends and the corporations. And then you just keep the people dumb and stupid so they don't question anything that you do. And I think that's one of the biggest hallmarks from the PPP's tenure in office, that they have won people's brains and people's minds. If I have your brain and I have your mind, I have you. I can get
Exactly.
I can program you to do anything I want.
Exactly.
And that is exactly what's happened in this country.
Yeah, but PNC does the same too.
Well, yes, yeah, you can apply to the PNC
Yeah.
too, but we're
They-
talking about the present.
This thing,
Yeah.
you know, this group set with this party and that group set with that party, and they want us. I am told today they had a protest at Soku. They were protesting Winston Jordan, you know, and I saw a piece of video. I wish these people can come out in the streets, right, and protest for their pockets
Exactly.
Much better.
rather than for an individual,
That's right.
right?
I'm sure Winston Jordan's pockets can deal with whatever he has to
Exactly.
encounter legally. What about your pockets? I'm sure many of them who went to that protest didn't have bus fare to go back home, but they're going to go out there to protest for Winston Jordan.
Yeah, because of party
That is
and
so,
their people.
that is so sad and sickening, man. They don't come out and protest for their children's future, but they protest for Jordan's past, what he did and what he didn't do. These
It's really sad.
It's
It's sad
sad.
and sickening, man. They fight for their own rights and their children's rights and their children's future.
Yeah, but there's a difference right now because now you have somebody like Mr. Glenn Lall who's pointing out what they've been doing in the past, and you're playing the video to support what what you're saying,
Oh yes.
and that's waking up the people. They don't want to hear that. Mr.
Yeah, that reminds me of what you said. I think the best line from this program is when you said that what happens to the sanctity and the promises that you make to the people. You parade around this country talking about sanctity of contract. Where's
Hello.
the sanctity in what you said to the
hello.
people?
Good evening. You're live on the air.
Hi, Glenn.
2 points I want to make.
Yes.
That guy that named Bernard, he seems to be a very intelligent chap,
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
right? And now we got a new opposition leader. Why he's fighting that he got the SOPs that show that they have to win?
Nonsense.
Then he should be fighting down Jagdeo for renegotiation.
Exactly.
Nonsense.
You know, when I saw that story in the newspapers, you know, it's news and you have to carry it. But if Glenn Lall had that choice, wherever put that in the newspaper, that never see the light of the day.
Definitely.
You understand?
Stop living in the
Look at what these people talking about SOPs. Election done since
He got more voted in Sulaka.
exactly, man.
Definitely.
And here what these clowns talking about SOPs.
Exactly.
You know?
Like two little schoolgirls in the playground pointing the fingers in each other's faces, bickering about
Exactly.
SOPs. It's a
Well,
distraction.
it's a nice game because if you listen
Exactly.
to Barat, he talks about APNU AFC, and now this one is talking about SOP. So the both of them are dancing backward.
No, they're both deliberately, you know, sidetracking
people.
It's a
Exactly.
big
distraction.
issues.
Exactly.
The main issues. Sorry, sir, you get cut off.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. You were saying.
No, I closed my contribution.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
Anytime these people have the opportunity and they refuse to discuss oil and they start talking about this nonsense, it's a distraction. And
Exactly.
people need to listen with an open and a clear mind. Listen and look at what these people are doing.
exactly.
It's not only a distraction. They choose issues that divide the people. On an issue with oil, everybody should come together. They won't talk about something that oil, everybody should come together and this is what you're going to get. But they choose issues that divides the people, like the election and the SOPs, and they choose divisive topics that keep the people divided all the time.
Yes.
Whilst they steal and the corporation walks away with millions of billions of US dollars from both sides.
They're the one who preach hate and
Yes.
race in a country, man.
Exactly.
You know, they're so some of these people should not even hold a clerk office.
No.
We need to get rid of all of them, and all of them need to be kicked to nowhere.
We need to be removed.
The question is, why is Barra Jagdeo keep coming back in every election when the PPP wins? Somehow he gets himself involved. Why can't he just go away and let's get changes in this country?
That the man's a king, self-made
He
king.
comes back with the same nonsense again. I'm building this, I'm building that, I'm the ruler, I'm the god, I'm Raja. I mean, go away, leave the people alone.
It's like
Give
a
them what they
plague upon
deserve.
this society.
It's
Joshua, any more phone calls there?
No, sir.
How come? I can't come sit down here for get telephone calls. What happened to all them comments? All them supporters, all them PVP and coalition supporters, what happened to them?
Somebody harking on why you're not talking about Jordan and the 18 million signing bonus.
Yes.
In-
Look at this. Look at that. That's a very smart person. $18 million.
Exactly.
You know, that to the individual, let me say this. The Kaieteur News would have written a lot about that. And $18 million, it's back in our coffers. Maybe they were trying to do some hanky-panky with it, but we got it. But 18 million, my friend, doesn't mean anything.
Exactly.
We shouldn't be even talking about that because there are billions of dollars
Exactly.
sits out there. That is what we should be focusing on now. Forget about yesterday, my friend. Let's talk about now. Let's not go back to this crap. You know, let's talk about fixing the loopholes, the provisions that can bring in $118 million or $18 billion. Not $118 million. Come on. Wake up. Smell the coffee.
Glenn, they're taking away $32 billion, $32 million US dollars every single day. What's the matter with these people?
Exactly.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi, sir.
Yeah, can I speak with Mr. Lall?
Go ahead. He's
I was
listening.
trying to get down to Mr. Lall about 5 nights now and I get it too.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Take his number.
Go ahead, sir. We're listening to you. We have your number. You have a contribution for tonight?
His radio is bad.
You gotta lower it.
Take the number and we'll call him back.
We'll call.
You know, guys, when you call, you have to turn your radio down. Or text your number and let us call you. We will call you. Right? So, Bernard, let's touch back. Let's touch back on where we were just now. About this person talking about $18 million. My friend, you guys have to wake up to real cash.
Exactly.
And let us don't go back to 2015 or 2016 when we get that $18 million. Come on, man. What happened? You guys stick with that? This is what your leaders shoving in your ears every time for you to leave you there? You got to be smarter than that, my friend. You got to look at tomorrow. Don't look at yesterday, man. The money is there tomorrow. Huge money is there tomorrow. Stop listening to these leaders.
Glenn, we are being robbed more than the $80 million every single day.
Yes.
Because Exxon is taking out $35 million every single day right now, and the 60% we should get more than 23. So we've been robbed more than $80 million every single day. So those fools who don't know what's going on, wake up and smell the coffee. Your leaders have been allowing the country to be robbed $80 million every single day of the week, month, and year.
Do the maths. Just do the maths.
He concerning this $18 million with the car and or Texas talking about, they will show how low this Guyanese mentality is. They were talking about the millions and billions and hundreds of billions of dollars where people them going away with the air money, you know. Them talking about, can't talk about a little smart thing what the federal government doing. Them talking about the federal government, the national bill, where people carry all the money, you know, millions of dollars air money. Them talking about them smart thing back in the past again, back in the past how they living. They just talk and call just now. The thing that Miss Harris is talking about, the thing that Mr. Bernard is talking about, because Guyanese people are all back of the foolish stuff. This is all going on. Mr. Bernard have to go on because the people that are thinking negative all the time about Mr. Guyanese, they think about what people are doing to them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's move away from that, man. Let's stop.
Ordinarily, we don't talk about 18 million. We talk about 8 billion in audit costs, 9 billion in audit costs,
Exactly.
460 million in audit costs.
Exactly.
Where's that? So when we do default now on this period where we have to audit this next 9.5
My friend.
billion,
My friend,
I want to see the comments for that.
my fellow Guyanese, brothers and sisters, $9 billion American dollars,
More than 3 years.
Vice President Jagdeo did not check.
He is disappointed.
He
I was
disappointed.
very disappointed that
We have another $9 billion American dollars in Payara time running out to check.
TikTok every
That
day.
he approved.
Okay?
That
That he approved. He approved another 10 billion with his fourth project. That's what? That's almost 30 something going on, 40 billion American dollars.
More than
You hear
12
me?
years of budget.
And we ain't got 2 duck or 2 fowl ready for check that kind of money. You understand? And these people talking about 18 million 10 years ago.
Exactly.
We're talking about billions.
Exactly.
You know, 40 billion American dollars is what? Is 17, is 13 trees. 13-year budget we're talking about.
Precisely.
More than 13, Bernard.
We gotta do the maths and calculate.
And you talking about 18 million, we can't even buy flash drive for some children in computers. Eh? You people for real? I'm not abusing you, but I want you guys to understand, man.
Use them. That's
Put your
something
mind,
understand things.
put your mind,
Big picture.
get an understanding of what really happening in this country.
Exactly.
Stop looking at the bicycle wheel
Look at the
and
Mercedes
start
Benz.
looking at the Mercedes Benz that you can drive.
Yes.
You know?
Yep.
Stop look at the shacks you're living in and look at the mansions that the white people taking our wealth and build for themselves and their families.
And your leaders too.
Come on, man.
Yes, sir. Go
Welcome, caller.
Yeah, I was trying to speak to Mr. Lall. This is the 6th time. I have a point that I would like to make.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Mr. Lal
I
is
have a
listening.
point I would like to make.
Go ahead, man.
I would like to know
why is it in this country that people is so backward? Why can't Guyanese people wake up and live? You know? Because I can't see that you're doing projects and you're getting nothing out of it. What sense it make? It's like throwing water and a duck back. You know? You're doing all these investments and fooling people all the time. But Mr. Lall, you could fool some people sometimes. But you can't fool all the people all the time. One of these days, things will change. You just have to trust God and live.
I hear you.
Mr. Lall.
Thank you.
You know? Because I can't see, you know, the old man the other day speak about the pension money. When the man told the vice president that they have money in the consolidated fund, you know what the vice president told him? You believe money is far from the sky? So millions falling from the sky for the canal, millions falling for building road in the interior and nothing materializing. Exactly. Why is it that they're treating the poor man like this? Why is it the poor man ain't got no right in this country, Mr. Lall?
Because we have leaders who doesn't care about them.
Yep.
We got leaders who are greedy and selfish, only think about them and themselves and their family.
Corrupt to the smallest cell in their bodies.
Hey, I want to know something. Why is it you got projects that you're bringing up every day, and it can't materialize any money going down the drain all the time? And nobody is saying nothing. You know what's talking? The opposition now coming into power. You know, he's saying nothing at all. Like he don't get caught already and start keeping emotion. I can't understand it.
Definitely.
I hear you, brother.
Represent the people and you're going to talk in a set of stupidness. Yeah?
I hear you. Thank you.
Review the ideal, let people get a better deal. Guyanese people are the lowest generation and so forth.
Yep. All right. Thank you,
I hear you,
caller.
my friend. Thanks.
Stay in touch.
Thank you very much.
Take care. Have a good evening.
night.
You too. Yes, you're live on the air.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
In Guyana right now for this whole session, it's only all white party Guyanese talking about and condemning the first lady and the whole white party. Now, they're using the $200 million US. You see how Jagdeo is tracking them now, the Guyanese people, he gone with Norton and SOP. That's the new topic of the distraction. Good night.
It's true.
Good night.
Yep. Thank you.
Distractions.
Everything is distraction.
And you people keep falling for it. So until you stop falling for it, we're all going to go down together.
We all will end up just like Sri Lanka.
Worse.
Guinea, Sudan, Chad.
Too many countries to list. Too many. It's the same thing. We're all bored of playing this same stupid game. Wake up. And we're being exploited. We're being extorted. Wake up, Guyana. It has to stop.
Please wake up. Please, you guys gotta wake up. They're taking you guys for a ride every single day. And you can't see it. Don't allow them to come at your bottom house and tell you anything other than showing you results. How you gonna make money. How you can have money in your pockets.
Your own money.
You know? And you're not begging them for that.
No.
These wealth belong to you, auntie and uncle. It is yours. God Almighty blessed all of us with it. Not them alone. They are just the custodians. They are just managers. You put them there to look after your rights. And you need to ask them. You need to say, what happened, man? Where is my share? Bharat Jagdeo have the same share like me and you. President Ali have the same share like me and you. Our opposition leader and all the politicians have the same share, equal share, like every single Guyanese. Why we are not getting ours? Why they're not fighting and safeguarding our share? Why? These are the type of questions you have to ask them, man. I want my share. Hence I am here on this radio every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I want my share, my fair share. And I am not getting it from them. I am not seeing that they are doing anything safeguarding not only my share, but my life and that of my children and grandchildren future. And you guys need to let them know that. I want my share. You want your share. Don't let them tell you anything other than that. You ask them in the face, where is my share? I elected you to fight for my share. The fishermen them used to make a daily bread with fish. There is no fish anymore. Now, you have to compensate them.
Definitely.
With the oil. Because the oil that destroys the people's livelihood.
Definitely.
Then, what is there for you now? You have to tell the leaders, stop coming in my face and shoot these nonsense. You understand what I'm saying, guys? Come on, man. Our lives are being destroyed every day. And you don't want to become like Sri Lanka, bankrupt, and have to line up. I went to Cuba the other day. And in Cuba, you line up 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning for a bread. Yes. You line up for every single thing in Cuba. That's what you want to get back to. That's where they're taking this country. And we should not allow them any bit further with this.
Yep.
With that, I say namaste and good night to all of you. God bless you guys.